Good morning. What's up, everybody? It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha here at Mocha's Cafe de Paris Lounge. Today is 7/11/2018. It's hump day today, so we don't have long. The weekend to be here very, very shortly. I want to give a big ups to all of my subscribers, those of you who have been with me from day one, those of you who are just jumping on board, and if you're just viewing my channel for the first time today, I want to welcome you aboard and thank you for stopping by. I'm going to go directly in today's recipe on today's topic as of this day, 7/11. Basically, Buffalo Bills running back Lesean McCoy is having some heat turned on him right now. He is running back for Buffalo Bills. Good morning, Jeremy. Thank you for stopping by. Basically, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not already heard, a woman who was once in a romantic relationship with Buffalo Bills running back Lesean McCoy was taken to a hospital Tuesday morning after she was assaulted during an invasion at McCoy's Fulton County home. I'm gonna see if I can go ahead and share the screen, and I'm gonna pull up her picture so everybody can get an idea as to what I'm talking about. Okay, go ahead and pull this up. Let's get started here. Okay. Basically, McCoy's involvement, what happened was, basically her home was invaded, and she got assaulted. She got attacked within her home. McCoy's involvement in the incident remains unclear. He was twice sought to have the woman, his ex-girlfriend, Lesean Gordon, 34, evicted from the home. Basically, it was already some beef going on between the both of them. He tried to get her evicted as of last year. He tried to get her evicted from the home. But he claims that he has absolutely nothing to do with this incident as far as who came into the home he tried to evict her from, and basically she got attacked there. McCoy said, for the record, the totally blameless and offensive claims made against him on social media are completely false. As you can see, this picture here is a picture of his ex-girlfriend. She goes by the name of Lesean Gordon. And what has happened was, like I stated, she got attacked in the home that coincidentally he tried to get her evicted out of that same home as of last year. And all of a sudden, someone broke into the home and they physically assaulted her. He's claiming that all the allegations made against him are false. He actually had nothing to do with the assault that happened. Let me see what else it says here. The claims that McCoy speaks of come from an unknown user on Instagram whose post went viral. So basically, his ex-girlfriend, one of her friends, posted a picture of her. She actually posted this picture of her, and it's gone viral, basically. And the posted photos of her, let me see, the message accompanying the photos accused McCoy of domestic violence, child abuse, animal abuse, and taking performance enhancement drugs. He's basically saying he had nothing to do with the situation. Another woman claiming to be Gordon's friend posted the images of her on Facebook and claimed that men were sent in her house to pistol whip her and rob her. That's a coincidence, especially now that he's trying to get her evicted. All of that is definitely a big coincidence, okay? This is him and her together as well. She looks much better in this picture than the other one. Basically, Graham says the invader entered the home. He entered the home with no signs of forced entry and demanded specific items of jewelry that was given to Gordon by McCoy. Okay, that's another coincidence. Graham said that McCoy had requested these pieces of jewelry back on multiple occasions. So basically, when the intruder came into the house to rob her, coincidentally, he specifically asked for jury that Mr. McCoy, the NFL football player, had brought her. So this sounds too much like a coincidence. I'm not saying he did it or he has something to do with it, but I just find it very ironic that this man invaded the house and specifically asked for the jury that McCoy had bought her. She was assaulted while sleeping in her home. Okay, so the invader who entered the home showed no signs of forced entry. He had requested pieces of jewelry back on multiple occasions and suggested to court that she could be robbed because the jewelry was so expensive. Police did say that the intruder requested specific items from the victim. Corden was hit in the face with a firearm multiple times. Wow. She was hit multiple times with a weapon. Let's see. I'm just kind of reading this as I'm going along with you guys and all of that. Police did say that the intruder requested specific items. According to audio from dispatch TMZ, 911 dispatcher called for police and firefighters to respond to a woman at McCoy's home. She was hit in the head and locked in the bathroom. Graham said McCoy did not contact Gordon to check on her condition or to see what was going on at her residence. Milton police did not provide any description of the suspect. A second female victim in the home suffered minor injuries. So basically, as you can see, based on everything that's going on, it's a whole lot of chaos with the situation. Basically, he tried to get her evicted last year. He was trying to get her evicted and get her out of his home last year. She wouldn't leave. And he's been trying to get her evicted twice. So coincidentally, through this whole process, all of a sudden she gets robbed. Somebody didn't even have to break into the home. They was able to just have access to the home, walk in the house that she was in, and pistol whip her. And her friend or her cousin, whoever the other female in the house was, also got assaulted as well. So as you can see, it's a whole lot of chaos that's going on with this whole situation. What's up, Harvey? Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it. For everybody who's just stopping by, basically what's going on is we have NFL Buffalo Bills running back Lesean McCoy. He has a lot of heat on him right now. Allegedly, they're trying to accuse him of setting his ex-girlfriend up to get physically assaulted. Basically, her home was invaded. Her home was basically intruded into, and she was physically attacked. She was pistol whipped by the intruder. And coincidentally, the intruder who pistol whipped her, he took the jewelry that McCoy brought from her. He took specific items out of that home that McCoy already had wanted back from her. So I'm not saying he has anything to do with this, but what I'm saying is this does not look good. This is too much of a coincidence. Her best friend or whoever has posted this picture here is going viral and is drawing a lot of attention. And basically what her friend said, this is my beautiful best friend, Delisha Gordon. I can't effing believe this. Sending dudes in her house to pistol whip her and rob her for what? Now the world knows that we know. You will pay for this. You will not get away with this. So as you can see, it's not looking too good for Mr. McCoy. He's been trying to get rid of her. He's been trying to evict her. He tried to evict her. Let me pull that up. He tried to evict her since last year. Court documents show that McCoy tried to have Gordon and all others evicted again on June 6th. On behalf of McCoy, the eviction was filed by TJ Porter, who was teammates with McCoy. On June 22nd, Gordon's lawyer filed that the court disregarded the dispossessory notice. Graham said that Gordon and McCoy were discussing marriage on May 28th, and May 29th, McCoy brought her a substantial gift. So basically, her mind, they had plans to be married and everything and all of that. On June 1st, McCoy had some of his friends remove Gordon's things from her home. So basically, he been trying to put her out. He had all her furniture and everything removed as of last year. So he been wanting this broad out of his home. I don't know what happened. I don't know if they fell out. Something went wrong somewhere. And basically, he just didn't want the broad no more. Okay, so whatever plans they had, he changed his mind and he was like, you know what? I can't see myself being with you. This ain't gonna work. I want you out my home. Okay. So basically he had some of his friends remove her things from the home. Because of the cameras in the home, she saw what was going on through her cell phone and she called the police. And she also claimed that McCoy also had the electricity cut off in the residence. So he was specifically showing her, I want you to get the hell on. He turned the power off. Okay, he tried to get all her furniture moved out her house. He been basically trying to get rid of her, and she was not backing down. She was not trying to leave. McCoy had security cameras removed from the home after June 1st. He later had a new security system installed, but did not give Gordon, which is the ex-girlfriend, access to it. Graham, I guess that's the attorney for his ex, argued that the eviction should be dismissed because it was served to Gordon's 16-year-old son on June 11th. An eviction was filed by Porter, who's not a licensed attorney. So basically, it's a whole bunch of mess. The whole purpose of me telling this story is, see, this is what a lot of women have to be cautious of. Whenever you're dealing with these big ballers, shot callers, these guys that, you know, got a lot of bread, got a lot of money. See, this is one of the things that a lot of females don't think about, that a lot of gold diggers don't think about. What you have to realize and keep in mind is, whenever you are dealing with a man that has a lot of money, he has a lot of status, he has a lot of pull. And so basically, he can get away with a lot of stuff. Okay. And basically what it looks like to me is that she did not want to give up that lifestyle. She didn't want to give it up. She didn't want to give up the big house. She didn't want to give up the cars, the wealth, the life of being a football wife. She did not want to give all of that up. No matter how much he showed her how over her he was. Like I said, he tried to move her furniture out of the house. He turned all the power off. I mean, he didn't care nothing about her and her children. And from what it sounds like to me, I don't think him or her had any kids because of the stuff he's doing. From what I heard, he has one son. So I don't think they have any children together. So he basically wanted to get rid of this broad, and she was determined to stay no matter how much he showed her that he didn't want her there. She was not willing to leave and let go of the glamorous life. So now, again, it's not looking good in his favor because he tried to get her evicted twice and she hasn't attempted to leave. All of a sudden, someone goes into her home, invades her house, and physically assaults her and physically attacks her all of a sudden. All of a suddenly. So it's not looking too good right now for him. Now, I'm not saying he has something to do with it. I'm not saying he didn't have anything to do with it. But I'm just saying it's all a little too close right now, especially with all the evictions. And the fact that she wouldn't leave, I guess in his mind, okay, if I'm not gonna get rid of you, I'm gonna find a way to get rid of you, you know. And you have some people that are like that, you know. If you're not gonna leave voluntarily, they're gonna find a way for you to leave. But this is my point anyway. Whenever you deal with a man with a lot of money, ladies, be careful going after these dudes that have a lot of money. If you think, because sometimes a lot of women will intentionally go after men that got money, big statuses, athletes, rap artists, these big time executive directors, these big time producers. When you intentionally try to target men that have money, what happens is you end up getting more trouble than what you bargained for, because like I said, whenever you're dealing with a man that has a lot of money, he has all type of connections. You know, like with the Ray Caruth situation. I don't know how many of y'all are familiar with that, but like with the Ray Caruth situation, you know, he was a big time football player. I think he played for the Panthers. Hell, I don't know. If I'm wrong, I completely apologize because I don't know nothing about sports. I don't know nothing about no football. I don't know nothing about no basketball. So if I'm saying the wrong team, guys, just correct me because I don't know nothing about sports. What's up, Hershey Kiss? Yeah, for everybody that's just tuning in, I'm talking about this situation with LeSean McCoy. He's basically a running back for Buffalo Bills. His ex-girlfriend got assaulted in the home that he's trying to get her evicted out of. He's been trying to get rid of her. He's been trying to put her out of his house since last year, and she won't leave. Now, coincidentally, all of a suddenly, somebody broke into the home. Well, actually, they didn't even break into the house. They just had easy access to enter into the home and pistol whip her. Yeah, that was Carolina. Okay, thanks, Hershey Kisses. I don't know nothing about no football. I'm be honest, I don't know nothing about none of that stuff. Yeah, like as I was stating, I know I'm all over the place, but as I was stating, this is why women, y'all got to be careful. Y'all want to go after these big ballers, these big shot callers. Y'all want to live the life of being the wife of these stars, and you want to live the luxurious life. You want to basically have the access to the mansion, to the cars, to the wealth, to VIP. All of that is all well and done, but you have to realize when men with a lot of money, they got a lot of power, which means they have all type of ways of getting rid of you. When they're ready to get rid of you, they're going to find a way to get rid of you. Like I said with the Ray Caruth, you know, and that was a very sad story, you know. Ray Caruth did not want to pay no child support. And he did not want her to have that baby. And because she was going to keep the baby anyway, and even though he had this big contract where even if he had to pay child support, it wasn't going to hurt him none. It was the point of the matter that she would not do what he wanted her to do. So he paid somebody to kill her while she was pregnant. You know, I'm not understanding why he couldn't get her off his property. That's a very good question. But you know what, James? Every state is different. You know what I mean? Because like I know in the state of South Carolina, you got what's called common law marriage, okay? And in common law marriage, meaning that if you live with somebody for over 6 months and that person is receiving mail in your house and all of that, that person is technically your wife. So it could be like a common law status type thing, James. I think that's probably what happened, because I know in the state of Carolina, you don't have to be legally married. And the reason why I know this is because I was in a situation where me and my husband was kind of, you know, bumping heads and stuff at the time. You know, we had a little ugly dispute. It didn't go physical, but basically at the time he couldn't just put me out if he wanted to, even though he didn't technically even though he didn't really want to put me out. I'm tongue-tied this morning, but the fact is, even if he wanted to, he couldn't, because in the state of Carolina, they recognize what's called common law marriage, meaning if you lived under that roof for 6 months or more, you get mail in that residence. Okay, your kids go to school in that area. I bet that's probably was the situation. That's probably why he couldn't get rid of her. That's why sometimes you have to check your state status when you go to moving people in your home and stuff, you know, because you got a lot of states that do that. If that state recognizes common law marriage, most likely that's probably why he couldn't just put her out. Because if she's already lived there for a certain amount of time and all of that, you know what I mean? It's not that simple to just get rid of that person. That's the dangerous part. That's why you have to be careful when you move people in your home, because sometimes you can't just get rid of them that easily. So you have to check your state status, because again, a lot of these states, they recognize common law marriage. So that's probably why he couldn't remove her, because I'm sure if he could have removed her, he would have. So for him to not have been able to is probably the way the laws are set up within that particular county. Because like I said, I know in Chatham, I know in Carolina and Jasper County, if that person lived with you for 6 months or more and they get mail and that residence and all of that, you can't put them out. You can't. You cannot put them out. So I'm sure, and then, you know, you got to keep in mind she had children too. So the court probably looked at all of that. And by her, if she doesn't have a job, the court probably thought about all that too. If he was the one that was initially taking care of her, if he was the breadwinner, all of that, see, all of that probably, you know, haunted him in the long run. As far as common law forever, I think so. I've never heard of it being a limit. I've never heard of it being a limit. I've never heard that after a certain period of time. So I believe it is. That's why, but that's why a lot of states don't do it, Harvey, but some states do. So yeah, I believe it is. That's why you have to be careful. But it's 1,000 ways around it, you know what I mean? Because what he could have did, if they didn't have any children and stuff, I mean, he could have left for there, just not paid nothing. Because for a house that big, eventually she would have struggled trying to pay for it. She would have struggled, you know what I mean, living there, especially if she didn't have the financial means. She didn't have you know, the money, the finances. She wouldn't have been able to stay there too long. All he would have had to do really was just don't pay any bills. So I'm not sure of all the dynamics of the situation. I'm trying to look into what happened with the first attempt when he first tried to evict her. The home was purchased on October 18, 2016 for $822,000. The trust has a Buffalo, New York address, and the initials match McCoy's, whose middle name is Kamal. A spokesperson with the city of Milton said that McCoy had previously verbally confirmed to Milton police that he is the homeowner. The two-story home sits on 1.3 acres, blah, 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 blah. It was built in 2018. Graham said, now Graham is the ex-girlfriend's attorney, okay? Basically, lost where I was reading at. McCoy tried to have her evicted. Corden and her children have lived in their home with McCoy since October of 2016. Okay, so y'all got to look at it this way. She been staying in our home for well over almost 2 years. Y'all get what I'm saying? McCoy tried to have her evicted according to the documents. McCoy filed to have her evicted from the home on July 3rd, 2017. The court document states that McCoy and Corden was no longer in a relationship, and McCoy had allowed her to stay in the home rent-free for 5 months. However, on July 6, 2017, Fulton County's Marshal Department told McCoy they couldn't fulfill his eviction request because the same addresses were listed for he and Corden. So it sounds like to me what they're saying is for whatever reason, looks like her name was on there too. The same addresses was listed for him and her. If the defendant and plaintiff share the same address, the unit, room, or suite occupied by the defendant must be identified to facilitate the eviction. So basically, I'm trying to decipher what's going on with the situation. The defendant must be identified to facilitate the eviction. So let me see. He tried to get her evicted. Basically, he's been trying to get her evicted. And she won't leave. So coincidentally, what's going on is, like I said, someone with this whole process of it already being some drama, with him trying to get rid of her, with him trying to get her put out, him trying to evict her. Coincidentally, like I said, someone breaks into her home and assaults her. They pistol whip her. And to make it so bad, they didn't even have to really break into the home. It was like they knew she was there. They knew. They just walked right on in, physically assaulted her, and assaulted her friend that was there with her. She was pistol whipped. She was physically assaulted. For everybody who's just getting in, I'm gonna see if I can share that with you again. But what's going on is now her girlfriend made the picture go viral, showing the attack and well, not the actual attack, but basically a picture of her after she was assaulted, and it has gone viral. Let's see if I can pull that back up. Yeah, this is the picture of her right here. That's why I said now the heat done got turned up, because now it's going viral. Her best friend posted this, and this is the most dumbest thing. I would be very pissed if one of my girlfriends posted a picture of me looking like this. I mean, I don't want the whole world to see me badly bruised. I mean, you got kids and stuff like this. You got family. I mean, people just, they go too far with the social media crap. But then again, her girlfriend probably posted this to, you know, gain sympathy and empathy. So that's probably the purpose of them posting this. What's up, the boys? Oh, hi, Water Snapper. I didn't even speak to you when you came in. What's good? How y'all doing? Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, James, that's what 50 Cent did. That's what 50 Cent did. I mean, it's crazy. Basically her best friend posted this mess, and she got this is my best friend, Lesean Gordon. I can't effing believe this. Sending dudes in her house to pistol whip her and rob her for what? Now the world knows what we know. You will pay for this. You will not get away with this. So that's the reason why I'm kind of going into the story, because what a lot of women have to realize is that when you get with men who have big statuses, who got a lot of money, who got a lot of connections, you know, whenever you're dealing with men, you know, that are financially well off, they can get away with doing all kind of stuff to you. They can get away with a lot. Money gives you power, meaning you can pay people off to do your dirt for you. You know, like I said with the Ray Caruso situation, he paid a hitman to try to knock her off, you know, because he didn't want to pay child support. See, this is what a lot of women don't understand. That's why you got to be careful going after all of these men with big money and big statuses, and you know, these athletes, these rappers, these producers, because they got all type of connections, you know. They can do all kind of stuff and get away with it, and there's nothing you can really do. Now, I'm not saying he has something to do with this situation, and I'm not saying he didn't, but I just find it very coincidental. Now that he's trying to get her, he's trying to put her out and get her evicted, somebody breaks in, somebody intrudes into the home, pistol whips her, and coincidentally they rob her for the jewelry that he brought. That sounds a little too coincidental to me. No, she didn't work, Big E. She didn't work. That's why she didn't want to leave, because she knew once she left, she's going to have to go back to that basic life. She's going to have to go back to shopping at Walmart and Target. She's no longer going to be able to shop at Dolce and Gabbana. She's going to have to shop at Walmart like us regular women. That's why she didn't want to leave. So no, Ernest, she don't have a job. She's not employed. You can just look at her and tell she's one of those really beautiful trophy wives that just, you know, want to sit home in a big mansion and get her hair done, get her nails done, you know, basically live the life of a Hollywood wife. You know, you can tell that's basically, you know, she strikes me as one of those types. She uses her looks to pretty much get what she wants. You know what I mean? And evidently he did choose her for that. I mean, they was in a relationship, and yes, they did live together. Something went left somewhere, because again, he purchased the house in 2016 and he tried to get her evicted The following year, he was trying to put her and her kids out. So something somewhere, I guess he realized that, you know what, I don't want to be with this broad. I guess he realized, you know how once you live with somebody, you really see that person's true colors. I think that's probably what happened. I think once he moved in, once she allowed, I'm saying she moved in with he moved in with her. No, she moved in with him. I believe once he lived with her, he started seeing all kind of stuff that was turning him off. I believe they probably was arguing, getting into it. And you know how it is. You just when you move in with somebody, you see their true colors. And I think he realized that, you know what, I don't want to be with her like that. Yeah, she's glamorous, she's beautiful and all this and that, but she's a piece of work. She too much. I don't want to deal with this broad. I want you gone. I want you and all your kids gone. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know, Hershey Kiss, you may have a point there. And D Boys, you have a point as well. Yeah, but what may happen to Hershey Kiss 9 times out of 10, being that they're all of these athletes are seeing what he's going through with her, 9 times out of 10, ain't nobody else gonna touch this broad, because they already seeing how she's trying to taint his reputation and taint his credentials. Once you put a bad stain once you get a bad stain in Hollywood, especially when you burn, you know, these guys that have high statuses and basically got high credibility and credentials, you taint yourself. I really don't think nobody's really going to be checking for her. Not in the Hollywood world. Now, she may end up getting a basic dude. Maybe she might look up and get one that kind of works in the background somewhere, that's kind of behind the scenes. But basically, you know, once your name starts spreading around Hollywood, you know, like that, ain't too many. You become like a liability. So I really don't think nobody else is really going to too much deal with her. Not in the athlete realm, put it that way, because they're seeing what he's going through with her. They're not going to want no parts of that. They're not going to want to pick up another man's damaged goods. I really think she's out of gas. I think sometimes you don't always get a do-over. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes you burn your bridge once and that's it. Sometimes you don't always get second chances. You don't always get a do-over. My personal opinion, I think she's pretty much out of gas. Nobody in the Hollywood industry is going to want anything to do with that broad. James says, but he needs to be slapped though, moving somebody else's baby mama and her with nothing going for herself. I totally agree. I agree. That brings me to my next point, okay? My thing is what people got to realize, man and women, this goes for you women too. If you're a man, if you're a woman, you're successful, even if you're not top-notch successful. You don't have to be an athlete or a rap star or a millionaire to be successful. Just the fact that you got your own SHIT, you independent, you know, you making good bread, you making a decent living. You take a chance where you bring somebody in your life who don't have anything. This is a prime example of what happens when you bring people in your life who got so much baggage that they got more baggage than you ever. They got more baggage than you, and you bring them into your life and you bring them into your home. You cannot get rid of them. And that is what happened. I'm sure initially, evidently, for her to be there, he loved her, he cared about her, you know, there was a relationship, there was some type of connection, evidently. But like I said, once, I don't know how long he been dating her by the time he really found out, but I'm quite sure 9 times out of 10 he didn't know her that long. He went on how good she looked. Come on, you know, he went on how good she looked. I mean, she looks like another replica of a Kim Kardashian type chick. 9 times out of 10, you know, he went on how she looked. Didn't realize until they moved in together under the same roof that this broad is crazy. Because let's face it, the most attractive women, a lot of them are very crazy. A lot of them are very bipolar. Some of them are very clingy, like fabric softener sheets. You know, he probably found out she was a bit too much, her and her kids. You know what I mean? And when you take people in, and same thing for you ladies. I've known some ladies who had their own stuff, got their own car, had their own home, move in a guy who ain't had nothing. Picked him up from the bottom. Literally, he came into her life with no drawers. She bought his drawers, bought his pants, bought him everything he has, she had to pay for it. You never want to bring somebody in your life who don't have their stuff straight. Because what happens is when you want to get rid of them or you feel like they're burdening you, they do not want to leave. And that is what happened. She did not want to leave. And I guess he got tired of waiting for the courts to handle it. He got frustrated. So I'm not saying he has something to do with it, but it's not looking good because it's too much of a coincidence. I see what you said about most men look past their issues. Exactly, Hershey Kiss. And he got more than what he bargained for. When you go after a woman because of how she looks, and you're not looking at the fact that, okay, she's an attractive woman, but she got too much baggage. She got all these children. She's not working. You know, she can't pull home weight. She's going to be leaning on me and depending on me to do everything. And when you pick up people who don't have nothing, you cannot get rid of them. If I've seen it once, I've seen it 1,000 times. It's like picking a stray dog off the street. You find a stray dog roaming around and you start feeding that stray dog. What you think gonna happen? That stray dog gonna keep coming back. I remember one time there was this stray cat. I remember, I think I was about maybe 11 or 12 years old. There was a little stray cat that used to roam the neighborhood all of the time. And I started playing with the cat and I got attached to the cat, you know. So I asked my mom, you know, if I could bring the cat into, you know, to stay with us. And of course she was against it at first. She said, no, you know, you don't know that stray cat. You don't know if she got her shots. You don't know if she's been taken care of. You don't know if she got fleas. I don't think you want to bring her in because you don't know if she's been trained or what. But I remember I talked my mother into letting me keep the cat. What she did, I tell y'all, when I had got that cat was pissing, pooping. I mean, this cat had no discipline, had no training, and make it so bad, she would boo-boo in places where you can't find it. She wouldn't boo-boo like out in the open, you know what I mean? She would boo-boo behind the TV. She would boo-boo in the closet. And you imagine smelling boo-boo and you can't find where it is. That is the most annoyingest crap because you want to get rid of the smell and you can't get rid of it. So I know I'm off a topic, but basically what I'm saying is I realized I had to get rid of the cat because the cat came with a lot of problems. You know, I just looked at the cat as a regular cat, thinking the cat is cute, thinking it's a pet, something I can play with. That cat was peeing. I don't know about if any of y'all got pets or anybody in here ever owned a cat. Cat piss is the worst smell on this planet. I hate the smell of cat piss. It's undescribable. This cat was pissing and boo-booing. I said, and you know, my mom wasn't about to clean it up. She left it on me to clean it up. She said, nah, you want this cat. You wanted her. You got to clean up after her. So we had to get rid of the cat. And coincidentally, that cat kept coming back no matter how much I tried to get rid of the cat because she was used to us feeding her, used to us taking care of her, you know. So this same thing, when you pick up somebody who comes from nothing, who doesn't have anything, and you take them in and all of a sudden you want to get rid of them, they're not going to back down because they know they're going right back to where the hell they came from. They're going right back to nothing. James said she looks normal. Instagram vixen. Yep. They usually get ran through by entertainers and athletes. All they get is bragging rights to say they had a celebrity. I don't think he was used to getting those kind of women. Exactly. You're right, Harvey. That's exactly what it is. Exactly what it is. Yeah, I'm sure back in the day, he was a basic dude. And that's what happens to a lot of men who come from nothing. And they finally, you know, they made it, you know, and I think it's a great thing. from a brother, a black woman or a black man to come from nothing and to become very successful, and for God to bless them with opportunities where they could really better themselves and be able to be put in a financial situation where they could take care of their families, where their families don't have to struggle. I think it's a blessing. But what happens is when you get in that world, you know, you make money and you realize you have a lot of options. You know, you don't have to just pick up Keith. You're not limited to just dealing with a Kiki or a Keisha. You know, you could get you a Delicia. You will get you a Natalia. You know, your standards, your choice. The more money you make, the higher your options are. You know what I mean? So basically, what has happened, you know, because that was the same thing that happened with comedian Kevin Hart. You know, he wasn't always an attractive guy coming up, you know. So when you deal with these guys, even when they get in the Hollywood world and they make money, it's still that little boy in them that still struggles from low self-esteem issues. It's still that little boy that remembers that day he was rejected in high school. None of the girls didn't want to go with him to prom. None of the girls was checking for him in the neighborhood. So when, you know, that little boy who has suffered with low self-esteem issues finally becomes a full-grown man, and then he becomes a full-grown man with money, it pretty much changes his whole outlook on life. And I think that's what pretty much happened with this whole situation here. I don't think he really knew her that well. I think he went by her looks. I think he went by her physical attributes. And when you don't get to know a person for who they are, you just going by how they look, you find out, you know, it's a lot of problems. And I've heard many men who have said, I'm not a man, but I've heard other men who have said, you know, sometimes really attractive women could be really crazy. Some of them are very bipolar. Some of them are schizophrenic. I mean, if you see a lot of these attractive women like Halle Berry and, you know, Jennifer Lopez and Janet Jackson, all of these women that are very beautiful women, you know, a lot of them can't keep anybody because underneath all those looks, a lot of them are damaged goods. A lot of them have problems. Most likely, yeah, she looks like I agree, Harvey. She looks like an Instagram vixen. She's practically already probably been ran through, and basically it's as the old saying goes, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. And then a lot of women wonder why. You might see a nice looking guy and you see him with this plain Jane, plain Pam that's not that attractive. She don't look all that cute. You know, 9 times out of 10, he's probably had his share of being with a lot of attractive women who all have been very crazy and showed him a different side. So, you know, a lot of times, you know, some men have learned to lower their standards because too much is given, much is required. And I don't mean so much lower your standards, but men have had to learn over the years that looks aren't everything. And the same thing with these women. Looks are not everything. I don't care how nice looking. I don't care if he's 6'7", he wears gator shoes. I don't care how good his pipe game is in the bedroom. But if he's controlling, he's overbearing, he's a narcissist, he's abusive, you know, he acts like a probation officer, got to know where you at, where you going, who you going to be with, how long you going to be there, what did you eat when you went there, what did you order to drink when you went there, how much gas you put in the car when you went there. When you left here, it was only 1,000 miles on the car. Now it's 1,200 miles on the car. So you have 200 other miles on the car. So where else did you go? Because the club is only 10 miles away. I mean, I'm telling you, everything ain't what it looked like. Just because it looks good to you, that don't mean it's necessarily good for you. And that's what happened. I believe she's a beautiful lunatic. She's probably lunatic. Now, this is the other thing now. With this whole situation going on against Mr. McCoy right now, all this heat that's being put on him. There's another post that has been posted. I think this is one of her girlfriends who posted this about him on her Instagram account. What she stated was, she says, this is what she posted: as Shady McCoy, the devil, you are an animal. We don't say anything about how you beat your dog Henny into kidney failure. Let's not talk about all the times my best friend, okay, so evidently this is her friend, had to stop you from viciously beating your son for small things like peeing in the bed. We kept quiet about your drug usage, all the illegal steroids and needles you were using. But we will not keep quiet about this. I can't believe you did this to my best friend. Your karma is going to be so real. The world needs to know what type of animal you really are. This was just her yesterday on the left, and now this morning, this is her on her right. Yeah, so they were saying this was her one day, and then the next day she looks like this. Okay. So basically, this is my problem with this whole post. I'm gonna tell you my problem with this. My thing is, why all of a sudden everybody wants to talk about how ruthless of a dog he is now? Why now? Why now? Why only after this attack took place? Y'all want to talk about how he beat the dog, how he was beating his son, how he takes steroids. My thing is, as long as the fruits, as long as you were benefiting from the fruits, nobody had a problem until now. Nobody had a problem. Why y'all just now speaking on all of this stuff now that this has gone down with your friend? I'm sure had none of this happened, long as y'all was able to spend a night in her mansion and drink up all his Hennessy, drink up all his cognac, y'all was able to benefit off of his coattail through her. Nobody had a problem. No one had not one solitary word to say. Now all of her friends are coming out like snakes out the bushes, and they want to talk about what type of dude he is. Get the hell out of here with that mess, because that's a bunch of fracking bull. Because if I know, my thing is, if I know I have a girlfriend who's with a dude that's beating and fighting on her, first of all, I'm not going to be hanging around in your residence. I'm not going to be kikiing and kicking it with you like that. You know what I mean? I'll be your friend, but I'm not about to be hanging around you and dealing with you too heavy, knowing you got a dude that's beating on you, abusing his children, abusing his dog. I can't even respect women like that who allow another man to just be abusive, and I still be their friend, and I hang around them, and I be in their company. That's a bunch of fracking bull. I've lost a friendship over that same mess. I know I no longer have. I had a 19-year friendship where I had to end it for that same reason, because this broad just kept being stupid. She kept letting this man just physically and emotionally and mentally just create so much damage to her and her children. And I just couldn't deal with it no more. I could not deal with it, knowing that this woman had allowed this man to just get away with so much. I stopped dealing with him. I'm not going to deal with it. You know what I mean? That's just me, though. I can't speak for everybody else. I think the so-called judges just draw. Of course, Harvey, all this is strategy. It's a bunch of fracking bull. And my thing is, I don't think they're really going to be able to prove it. I don't think they're going to really be able to prove anything, you know, and I won't be surprised if he did have something to do with this. But my thing is, with all of this that has occurred, is it going to get him the results he wants? Is it going to make her move out? Now that's going to be the next thing. If she's going to move out after this, is the results he looking for? Is he going to get what is he going to get that accomplished, basically? Because I could be wrong, but I think he has something to do with it. But he was smart. He didn't get his hands dirty. He probably paid some thug dudes going there, knocking, you know, because it's just too coincidental. You know, with all the beef. But the thing is, she's going to have to prove it, though. And I think that's the part where she's going to have a hard time. I think she's going to have a hard time proving it. You know what I mean? But you have to, this is what a lot of people understand. You know, if somebody done made it up in their mind that they don't want you, they don't want to be with you, stop fighting to be somewhere where a person has already shown you and displayed to you how much they don't want to be with you. Once a person has shown you they don't care about you like that, they don't love you, don't want to be with you. My thing is, I cannot be comfortable staying in a home where I know a man no longer wants to be with me, no longer wants me there, I'm not going to feel comfortable even sticking around. Period, point blank. You know, and but again, a lot of this comes from the fact that you have some people, they feel entitlement. In her mind, I guess she felt like, you promised me you was going to marry me, you was going to be with me. Now all of a sudden you want to get rid of me, you want to put me out. I'm not going nowhere. You have some people that no matter, you know, how much you try to prove to them that you really don't want the relationship no more, some people, they're going to stay anyway. They're going to play hardcore. They're going to ride it all the way out. And you have to know what battles to pick. When a person is constantly disrespecting you, or they telling you, I want you gone, I want you out my life, I want you out my house, sometimes you got to give people what they want just to keep the peace. Don't be trying to keep somebody who don't want to be kept. Don't be fighting to stay somewhere in which a person has already shown you they really don't have no more feelings for you. They really don't care to be with you no more like that. Because if 9 times out of 10, when somebody acts nasty towards you and they disrespecting you, they're doing all of that for a reason. They're doing all of that as signals. That's basically throwing hints at you that they want you to leave, that they want you gone. You got to read them between the lines. You got to realize that when somebody's treating you nasty and somebody's telling you, I don't want you, I don't love you, I want you gone, stop fighting with it. Gracefully leave the relationship. I know it hurts. You know, I know you might not have nowhere else to go. You may not have no other places to be. You know, and a lot of times what happens is, and let me tell you what happens too, and a lot of women do this. I don't think a lot, I would say a lot of guys, men, y'all don't do this as often. But women, they do this a lot. You have a lot of women who will get with a dude because he got this and got that, and they will shine on everybody around them. They will stunt on their friends. They will stunt on their families. You get a couple of dudes who do it. I've known some dudes, they get a woman or get a certain type of female and start smelling themselves. They start stunting on everybody around them. But it's more women who do it as well. And what happens is, when that dude no longer wants them, ain't checking for them like that, a lot of them don't want to leave the relationship because they know they have stunted on everybody around them. They have burnt all their bridges. So now they got to try to stay in the relationship in which that person don't even want them, because they have acted up and shown they behind, and they have bragged. They have put up this front, acting like they this and that and all of that. And now they too embarrassed to have to go back and face the same people that who they shined on when they was in a relationship. That's what happens. You know what I mean? What's up, Dustin? Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it. Mimi and David and David. I cannot read today, y'all. Mimi and Davin. Gang, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for stopping by. Yeah, they messed her up. And most likely 9 times out of 10, I'm sure he has something to do with it. Because he been want her to leave. And like I told y'all, the person who assaulted her, they robbed the same jewelry he bought her. Now, if that ain't a big damn coincidence, I don't know what is. But what happens is, that's why you have to be careful when you get in these relationships. Don't be smelling yourself and thinking you all of that. Because the same people you pass going down, pass going up, you have to pass them going down. You got to be careful, because these relationships are not promised. You know, and you have to accept the fact when somebody no longer wants to be with you and they have verbalized, I don't love you, I don't want this relationship. Stop fighting to stay there, because you set yourself up like this woman did. She set herself up. I ain't trying to be funny, but she set herself up to be abused. And I know that sounds cruel, and I know that sounds mean. Now, I'm not saying she deserved that. I'm not saying she deserved that, because if that was my sister, if that was my cousin, I would feel some type of way. But I'm sure this dude done showed her several times, I want you out my life. I'm not feeling you no more. I don't care if I promised you I'm going to marry you. I don't care if I told you we're going to be together. I done realized after living with you in this short period of time, I realized that you are not the woman for me. I don't care how beautiful you are. I don't care what we had, you know, because the problem is with a lot of women, what has a lot of women messed up? The reason why a lot of women cannot leave relationships because they are too busy looking at what the guy first was instead of looking at what he currently is. A lot of women still are be in love with what used to be versus accepting the fact what it really is right now. I don't care if in the beginning he brought you this, he brought you that, he took you to all the finest restaurants, he brought you a nice home, he brought you a nice car. I don't care if he did all of that last year. If this year he being the ass and he being disrespectful, talking to you all kind of way, it's time to abort the mission. Same thing with you guys. I don't care if starting out she was a down chick, she was a good woman, she took care of you. If she ain't been doing that the last year or so, and now she's acting like a totally different woman, guess what? That is not the same woman you done fell in love with. Accept it for what it is. There's too many people out here that is holding on to what used to be. There's too many of y'all doing it. There's too many of y'all still holding on to what used to be. I don't care if that's how it always was. Is it like that right now? That's what you need to be asking yourself. That's what it boils down to. You know, people try to find all kind of reasons to hang in dead situations. You got to know when your time is up with certain people. You know, and I know it was scary, you know, especially when you done been with somebody a long time. It's scary to have to go out there and start all over. It's scary when you don't put all your heart, all your time, all your energy. It's a scary thing to have to start all over. I believe me, I know. But damn, it's scarier staying somewhere where you're not growing. And that person is constantly showing you every day how much they really fell out of love with you. What's more scarier? Moving on and starting a new starting a new journey, or to continue to keep sitting in a relationship where you're not wanted. I guarantee you, he been showing this broad, he been sick of her long time ago. But like most women, because you have a lot of women who be in denial with that crap. You know, they be thinking it's just a phase. Because I don't see too many men. You have one or two soft cottonelle tissue brothers. You got a few of them that don't get the picture when a woman is just using them or taking them for what they got. But it's more women than men that's doing that mess. When person show, and the words of Maya Angelou, when a person shows you who they are, believe them. Stop trying to paint them to be what you want them to be. Until you face the reality of what type of person you're really dealing with, you're going to continue to be disappointed. You're going to continue to be let down. You're going to continue to keep getting hurt because you're not dealing with the reality. Sometimes you got to call things out for what it is. When you call it out for what it is, you could accept it better. Sometimes you have to tell yourself, you know what, this woman, she don't love me. She don't care about me. She only cares about what I do for her. Long as I'm paying her bills, long as I'm materialistically providing, that's all she wants from me. Sometimes you got to call it out. You keep lying to yourself and making up excuses for another person's behavior. Well, it's not that bad. Well, you know, we'll get past it. Well, you know, we all got ups and downs. It's a lot of people out here who keep lying to themselves about these dysfunctional relationships. You know your relationship is dysfunctional with this individual. You know your marriage is dysfunctional, but you want to keep holding on because of the kids. You want to hold on because of the money. You want to hold on because you don't want the ex-girlfriend or the ex-husband to get them back. A lot of people holding on to these relationships for all the wrong reasons. And they constantly find themselves miserable. They can't grow. They can't get ahead. You just remain stagnant. And at the end of the day, that happens. You cannot blame nobody but yourself to keep remaining in an unhealthy situation. It's not going to change until you change it. It's going to continue to be just what it is day in and day out until you take it upon yourself to pull up your big girl panties or to pull up your big man drawers And you have to take the initiative to go ahead and end things, because some people, it's sad, but some people, they don't have the balls to tell you they don't want you no more. Some people, they'll just make you miserable. Some people, they won't even tell you the relationship or the marriage is the end. Some people ain't man enough or woman enough to just lay it out on the table. Instead, they'll just walk around and treat you miserable. That's what they'll do. So, ladies and gentlemen, everybody's not going to verbally, everybody ain't man or woman enough to say, I don't want this relationship. I don't want this marriage. Everybody's not going to be mature enough to just lay it out. Instead, some people act it out. You got to look at a person's actions. If they constantly never home, always in the streets, never answering the phone, you call them, they give you attitude. This man tried to get her evicted. What part did she not understand that he was not feeling her anymore? What part didn't she understand? I mean, I'm sure she been seeing signs. It ain't just all of a suddenly. The man been fed up. He tried to put her out since 2016. I mean, all the red flags was there. The man bent over her long time ago. You got to learn and realize when your time is up with people. Some people come in your life for a reason, and some people come in your life for a season. You know, some people come as a lesson, some people comes as a blessing. And I hope if I was her, if it was me in her shoes, I would leave that house. I would have to leave it and let him have it, because nothing is worth compromising my safety, because she could have got killed. Does she not understand? If she still stays in our house after this, she's asking to get killed. I'm not trying to be funny. If she still decides to stay with this in this man's house, then I feel for her, because you want that badly to have the life of luxury that you're willing to tolerate being abused, being attacked. I mean, what's more important, your safety or you having the mansion? You having your life or you having your mansion? To me, that would have been a big red flag. I would have left. I would have definitely got the picture then. What's up, D-Will 104? Relationships will evolve and have ebbs and flows, highs and lows, but if they show no effort to make things right continuously, sure. Exactly. That's all I'm saying, D-Will. That's what I'm saying. This man I'm quite sure he been showing this girl he over her. He probably was never home. Probably was gone, but she was so busy focusing on the mansion, focusing on the cars, the money. Mimi, I don't think they have any children together. He does have a son, but I don't think it's from her. I don't think that son is from her. Yeah, he has a son named Lesean McCoy Jr. I don't think they have any children together. I'm gonna try to look into that, but from what I saw, I didn't see any children from her. It was her and her kids that was living in the main. See if I can find out. I don't think they have any children together. I really don't know. I really don't. But I know she was the one who she was the one who came into the relationship with children. She's children. Let's see. I'm gonna see if I can try to find that information out. Anyway, my computer acting slow today. Yeah, you have to once you see a person not putting in no effort, you know, and especially when they verbalize, I'm like this, all you got to tell me is one time when a man tell me to get out his house, I'm going. I'm not going to fight to stay somewhere where I'm not wanted. I'm not going to put myself in that situation. I'm not going to put my kids in that situation. I'm just not going to. Go ahead and stop sharing the screen. Right. Yeah, I'm just not going to put myself in that situation. I'm sure she had many red flags. I'm sure she had many red flags, but in her mind, I'm not giving up this mansion. I'm not giving up these cars and this luxury. I'm not going back to having to shop at Walmart when I'm used to shopping at Dolce and Gabbana and Versace. I'm not going back to that life. I'm going to stay here, even though he act like he's miserable with me, even though he has tried to get me evicted, even though he has told me to leave. I'm going to stay right here because I don't want to give up this life of luxury. Yeah, you have to realize that, you know, you don't put your safety and your well-being at risk just because you don't want to let go of the lifestyle. Kids. A lot of women have done it, you know, and unfortunately, you know, you pay the price. You pay the price when you make money more important than your safety. All right, Hershey Kiss, thank you. I appreciate you for stopping by. Thank you. Appreciate you a lot. You have a wonderful day. Make sure you holler at me again whenever you get a chance. Stop by and visit me again when you can. But yeah, so you know, you have to be very careful when a person gives you signs and they basically you know, being mean, being cruel to you. They trying to put you out the house and trying to get rid of you, and you know, just doing all kind of malicious stuff, man. I mean, just let go of the situation. I hope at this point she lets go. I hope she get and she gets more. And she's being that God fixed it for her to survive this situation. I hope she leaves. I hope and get the stop remaining in the relationship because you still access passes. It's not worth it. If any of her girlfriends, hopefully they see this video, my advice to them, y'all need to be convincing her to leave him. After this here, after she got brutally attacked, it's best that she leave this situation. And other research I'm finding out is been all kind of other problems too. I see here that she's cheating on her 2000 and yeah, in 2017. Then my thing is that this man, he been not interested. He been fell out of love. I mean, all the signs are there. You know, he been over it. You know, she claimed she caught him with a hooker and all of this other stuff and everything. So it's been a lot of disrespect for quite some time. But nevertheless, that's why I definitely wanted to do this video. I thought it was imperative that I share this information with all of you. For the simple fact that you have to know when to let go. You have to know when your time is up. Everything has an expiration date. Nothing in this life is permanent. Nothing in this life lasts forever. You have to realize when your time is up with certain people, whether that person is your friend, whether that person is your companion, your husband, your wife. You know, you have to accept the fact that when people start treating you differently, and especially when you're being disrespected in the process, you have to care about yourself and enough to leave that situation. If you don't care about you, you can't expect anybody outside of you to care about you. You have to keep in mind that, you know, once a person gets to that point and the person gets accustomed and they get used to disrespecting you, 9 times out of 10, they're going to continue to do so. Okay. It's not going to change. That's going to always be the way it is. So, you know, you just have to keep that in mind. So it's unfortunate that this had to happen. I feel bad for her that she had to experience this brutal attack. Also, like I said, I don't know the whole situation. I cannot completely side with her. I can't completely look at him as the villain, you know, because even though she's a woman, I cannot sympathize with her just because she's a woman. I don't know what all she's done to him behind closed doors. I don't know what all he has gone through with her. So I cannot really take sides on either of them in the situation. I really don't know the whole dynamics, but from what I see, it is not looking good. I pray somebody has enough goddamn sense to end the situation before some bottom line. So on that note, it has been wonderful. It has been awesome. I definitely want to thank all of you for hanging out and rocking out with me here today, this morning at Mocha's Cafe de Paris Lounge. All of y'all, do not forget, I have a Patreon account. I'm going to be putting a lot of my good material over there because on YouTube, I'm very limited. I have to, when it comes to YouTube, we have to watch what we say. We have to watch how we say it. You know, when it comes to Patreon, I can really be as raw as I want to be. I actually in the process of uploading a video called Females Being Dick Hydrated. I'm going to put a lot of insightful information into my Patreon. So for all of y'all who do not have access to my Patreon, I trust and believe if you like a lot of the material that I cover on YouTube, you're definitely going to like what I put on Patreon, because in Patreon, there's no boundaries at all. You know, anything goes. So I'm able to do way more content just about anything on Patreon. So if you have not visited my Patreon, make sure all of y'all check it out. It's only $2 a month. You know, whatever you feel on your heart to do or whatever. So if you like my content here, you're definitely going to love what I do with Patreon, okay? So for all of y'all who have been watching, thank you for your support. Thanks, Jeremy. I appreciate it. Mimi and Davin Gang, DWIL 104, Hershey Kiss, Dustin, James Harvey, any else I missed? Ernest, D Boys, Water Sniper. I thank each and every one of y'all for rocking out with your girl and supporting me. But it's time for me to go ahead and shut it down, and I will be hollering at y'all soon. Y'all take care, and y'all have a wonderful hump day. I'm out.